Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Rectified podcast. My guest today is Kyle Huber, co founder of Earthy, which is not exactly a supplement brand. I believe that Earthy should have a separate category on its own, but I'm going to let Kyle tell us more about it. Kyle, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Sandy. Thank you so much for having me. Love the intro.
If anyone follows Earthy on social media, we see you guys going on those crazy adventures. You're biking, climbing, doing all sorts of stuff. You talk a little bit about the product, but the main focus of the account is not the product. It's to talk about your adventures. And this really shows like what your brand is all about. And it makes me wonder, how did you come up with this strategy for social media? Was it really intentional?
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely thinking about our social strategy well before we launched. We actually launched a soft launch, as you will, where we just put up a landing page, said our whole campaign is nothing to hide. So we're a transparent supplement company.
Yeah.
Adaptogens is a huge part of what we do, but we did a naked photo shoot. So we got some models. We went up to the mountains north of LA and just photoshopped. They were wearing clothes, but photoshopped like blurry images over the private parts, and just really wanted to make a splash. And just our whole mission is to wake people up to start paying attention to what they're putting in their body, and so that felt really authentic. And yeah, still to this day, we definitely should push the product a little harder, and we are. But a lot of what we do organically is just what we're already doing in our lives.
Yeah. This really reminds me of the Red Bull social strategy, because all they do is like show us their adventures. They're jumping from places and they're doing, all of those things. And they never show us the actual drink. It's not the same thing because your product is clean, it's made of good ingredients, etc. It has nothing to do with it. It reminds me of that. Were you inspired by Red Bull on any level or not?
I would say yes. We take inspiration from every single brand that's out there crushing it. Red Bull obviously grew a lot through the action sports, but also just putting their product into the hands of college campuses, college students on college campuses. And so just that grassroots, they call it liquid to lips approach, is pretty important to us because our product is different. And people, when they think mushroom products, they think it's going to taste earthy. Our brand is called Earthy, and yet when they try it, it's like, oh, this tastes really good, like a cup of hot chocolate. And so just getting people to actually try it is one of our biggest efforts right now, for sure. So yeah, we just to maybe even pull it back for a second. Yeah, you mentioned we get outside, ride our bikes, and run. And so we were thinking, we're bootstrapped. We don't have the budget to put a bunch of marketing dollars into social and things like that. So what we did was we got a van and we cycled and ran from Canada to Mexico, stopping at sports shops, run shops, anywhere we could find like our people, and just dropped samples off, told our story 500, 1,000 times, 1,800 miles of cycling and running. I did the cycling, fortunately. So yeah, that's a little bit about kind of our grassroots approach.
That's pretty cool. Kyle, tell us about the product. Tell us about Earthy. Like we talked about going crazy and climbing stuff, and biking and stuff. But what about your product? Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's our whole thing is pre-workout is made for the gym. So when you think pre-workout, it's like guys lifting weights, putting up a big bench press or squat, which is great. But there's so many other people like ourselves who we ride bikes, we boulder, we just love getting outside. And so there wasn't really a natural pre-workout specifically for the endurance and just longer lasting energy. So we started by saying, okay, the two ingredients we want to build around are the functional mushrooms, lion's mane and cordyceps. And then from there, the question is like, what's the best vehicle to get that to people in a natural way without any preservatives? And then we added in the cacao, beetroot, and our X factor in the product is called Guayusa. It's a cousin of yerba mate. All these CPG brands out there should be testing it and trying it because it's just a very clean, sustained, slower releasing caffeine source. So we replace pre-workout. We call it a pre-movement for that reason, but also could potentially and do replace coffee and energy drinks. So the other day I was at the gym, some guy was opening up the door, grabbing a Celsius or something out of there. And I just walk up to them and I'm like, hey man, this is better, try this. And so yeah, we're
Yeah.
you know, we're really focused on the pre-workout energy side of things, but there's so many different types of people that could use our product. So we're still kind of landing and positioning, but pre-workout is the number one thing.
Yeah. In the middle of all the pre-workouts that are out there, like there's a lot and you should know better. It's the industry you're in. How are you convincing people to use yours? I know it's better, better ingredients, etc. But people who are working out and lifting weights, etc., are they really getting convinced by your product and how you're convincing them?
A lot of these people are already either using a natural pre-workout or stop drinking pre-workout, or they just use coffee as their pre-workout. So our core like target demo is not the guys that are using pre-workout religiously in the gym. It's people that have had a pain point around that, whether it's stomach issues. Coffee causes a lot of acidity in the stomach. So a lot of people are looking to replace their coffee with something that doesn't disrupt the gut, that doesn't lead to the anxiety and jitters. So are people resonating with it? Yes. I would say that pre-workout still has a space. Obviously, it's $150 million market. Is that right? Billion?
Yeah.
It's a massive industry. It's a $150
I
billion
have no idea.
industry. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of the right people. So that's why like leaning into the sports shops. Like when I tell the story to somebody who's a hardcore ski shop owner or someone who's like pushing themselves in an ultra marathon, they get it. You know, it's just like, oh wow, like everything you guys are doing makes a ton of sense. There's other people where they're like, I don't, not, you can't sell your product to everybody. So that's where you got to put your energy in the right places, I think. But I could learn something from you on the marketing side of things for sure.
We can talk about this for like hours. I can tell you exactly what I think about it. But it's always so fascinating when all these new brands come and try to take over like the bigger ones. It's like a David versus Goliath kind of thing. You come in with all those great ingredients and great product, and you're trying to take over. But you don't have all those resources. You don't have the funds. You don't have any of those the stuff that the bigger brands have. And I'm always fascinated by the stories, like how are people adopting your new product, how are people reacting to it, all of those things. That's why I like to always ask these questions and get more insight about it.
Yeah, no, it's a great question.
What about
People are, oh sorry, I can add on to that.
no,
We've got people who
go
are
ahead.
running 100-mile races, and one guy even told us that his legs were breaking down at mile 70 something. He drank Earthy and felt fresh and finished the 100-mile race strong. We've got other people. We've got a professional runner who uses our product religiously, and we gave him a bag and we were like, try it out, see what you think. He said he liked it, but you never know. People are nice and they're trying to be respectful. And then we went to a group run with him, Brooks, my co-founder, and I. And he shows up and he's like, hey guys, I just ran out of Earthy and I'm stressed out. I need more. So that's a super good sign for us that like top tier performance athletes are using our product. But also I have friends who have just kind of seen our journey and they're software engineers or they just work a normal 9 to 5 and they're using it very effectively just for day-to-day productivity, creativity, not getting that 2 to 3 p.m. crash. So definitely there's a lot of anecdotal evidence. We're super keen on doing proper studies on the product, whether that's brainwave studies or VO2 max, testing different things. But we pull from the clinical studies that are out there. So like this should be mentioned right here. Our hill that we're going to die on is transparency. So this whole entire business, the thesis was, can we make a transparent supplement where we actually tell you every single ingredient in the product and where it's from, how it's processed down to the farm level. Most supplement companies, they'll use things like proprietary blend, or there's another term called angel dusting where they just sprinkle in a little bit of the ingredient for a label claim. We reject all that. And we came into this whole thing, just like you said, David versus Goliath, thinking we are going to disrupt the supplement industry. We're going to set new standards for transparency. So our sights are set on big things. But again, to your point, we are working within the constraints that we have, which right now that's resources, finances. There's 2 of us. We've got a couple other people on our team and we've got a strong team, super passionate. But right now it's actually a little bit of a blessing in disguise that We haven't fully raised our pre-seed round, which is underway right now, because we've just had to get scrappy and do the guerrilla marketing thing, which is leading more. It's more aligned with our strategy of a grassroots marketing program, and also just feels good. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited. Just to go to an event or share the samples with people at the gym or drop by coffee shops, all that type of stuff.
I had another founder on the podcast. It's unrelated. She doesn't sell supplements. It's like a snack, gluten-free, healthy, clean snack. But she does the same thing. Like it's been years, like 2-3 years that she's doing this. She goes to all those events, sampling, making people taste this, and she gets rejected by people. And she documents all of these things. She documents it on TikTok and all over the place, but mainly on TikTok. And it really resonates with people. People love these stories. They love following your story. How did you get there? Instead of having like somebody just say, oh, here's the best product in the world without knowing your story and what you're doing. And I find this super fascinating. There's a question that I'm always curious about. Who was your first customer that was not family or friend?
Will Shannon. I don't know if he's considered a friend, but
Who is Will Shannon?
Will Shannon is just a guy that I met bouldering at the gym. Great guy. He's actually a founder and a software engineer himself, but I just was telling him at the gym, like, hey, we've got this website set up. Could you leave us a review? We don't want you to buy the product. The website was still in like the preview mode. And he just went ahead and made the first Earthy order ever. So forever in history, Will Shannon will be our first customer.
Wow. I think you should send him, like a frame with like our first customer or something.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Forever.
We've sent handwritten cards to almost every single one of our customers so far. So we literally write out a note and just send it to them in the mail, snail mail style. And so just making sure that people really know that we value their order greatly.
Personal touches are always a nice thing. And I'm seeing it more and more with smaller brands or startups like you. Kyle, you had a podcast yourself. You did it for the longest time. Tell me a little bit more about it and how did it help you get here?
It's a good question. I gravitated towards podcasting in my early 20s. I found it as first a consumer, listening to podcasts and just getting so much value out of them, whether it be things to just have a strong mindset. Challenge equals opportunity was one of the big first takeaways that I had. I was listening to people. This might be cringy for some. I was listening to guests on Joe Rogan podcast, and I would get like fired up. Like, wow, okay, I'm going through a challenge right now. But look, this reframe can actually set this challenge up to be a huge success. So at the time, I was actually getting kicked out of college. It's kind of a crazy story. I shipped a package of weed in the mail to myself. Embarrassing, but I'm telling you about it right now. And so, 6 weeks before I was going to graduate college, I was not told basically I'm not going to get my degree and that I would have to kind of figure it out. And so I look back on that day as the pivotal day. It was like March something, 2018, 2017. And that was the day that I actually like took the reins of my life and said, there's been this rut or this track that I've been on, which was high school, go to college, get a job, then figure out, okay, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, run my own business, but it was like so easy just to keep walking on that path. And so this inflection point sat me on my ass. I moved back to my parents' basement. I actually started a car detailing business. As I started to like listen and consume more podcasts, I realized the power of some of the stuff I was learning. And I wanted to start my own podcast, which became the Adventure Creator Podcast, where I just interview people who are passionate about what they do. Anyone really, like athletes or just friends, people that are running businesses, music artists, like anybody who's passionate is going to be interesting to talk to. And so I did like 77 episodes, found myself in podcasting professionally, working with a company called Creative Live. I was the producer and editor for Chase Jarvis Live, which is a podcast started by the CEO and founder of Creative Live. And one day on a Tuesday, the company had been acquired and basically everyone was laid off one day. So then that was like, okay, you've been in this 3 years, it's time for a pivot. And that's when I took the full step to really get into entrepreneurship. But I think for one, just the confidence in speaking in public, I struggled with that quite a bit. I'm very, if you can see, I'm a redhead. So when we get embarrassed, we get very red in the face, sweating. I'm almost sweating right now, but yeah, I think just getting those reps in, storytelling is really big. And yeah, podcasting has given me so much in life. And yeah, I hope this episode gives some value to somebody else as well.
Of course, of course. I believe that whoever, like, whenever I listen to anyone, whether it's like someone super famous or just like anyone, on the street or something, there's always something that you can learn from every single person on this planet, because every single one of us has different experiences and we learn different things throughout our lives and our careers and everything. So I'm pretty sure somebody will get something out of this episode. How did you go from, okay, I need to do something for myself, to, okay, let's create some supplement that has all these ingredients? And let's face it, some people might think that these ingredients are weird, although the other ingredients are the weird ones. But, how did you decide, oh, let's go do this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I left Creative Live, I had a few friends who I had actually hosted on my podcast, and I had been sort of watching them from the sidelines build their brand. They had just gotten a big deal with a national distributor, and things were looking really good. They needed the support in terms of content, marketing, and production, which was sort of my background. So I joined them in August, right after Creative Live blew up. And I spent about 6 months with them. I think the main thing was just a fundamental misalignment of values, both in hey, why are we in this in the first place? We're a supplement company, and what's our goal? Our goal is to improve people's health and lives. And there was just a lot of tension between the founders and myself, and it led to a pretty negative sort of breakup. Things boiled up. Conversations that should have been had earlier didn't happen. And eventually, basically, that's where I met my current business partner. The two of us said, hey, let's take the learnings that we have here. This isn't going to work out. We ultimately didn't want to be in the trenches building a business with these guys for 5 to 7 years. They're still on their way. They're doing their thing. But we said, let's do it with transparency our own way. So we had a huge advantage coming into this, that we saw how the business was operated. We had done it before. We had been successful in it. And in that rollout of the national distribution, we had a couple pain points that were good lessons as well, just in terms of production. We had a bunch of our gummies melt, which is just like a nightmare story. We shipped 1,000 units of melted gummies on the first order from this customer. So we were getting... And then we were getting people buying the product at this store and then sending us pictures like the goo from the gummies is oozing out of the actual jar itself. It was so wild.
My God.
So that's just an example of like a lesson we learned of like, hey, if you're going to do a big production run, test before you actually go into 1,000 units or 5,000 units, because there's always something in there, especially in food, that can go wrong.
Exactly. And that's another lesson learned of all the things that happened with you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, looking back on it, everything happens for a reason. And it was a challenging period, like making that decision to say, hey, there's something good building here, but we didn't believe as much in it. Like we really were saying like, this is just not something that we want to put our life energy into for 5 to 7 years. But this space itself is very aligned with who we are as people and athletes. And so that definitely gives us a little head start and a little acceleration with Earthy. We got it off the ground relatively quickly.
Let's go to the finance part. Let's talk about money. How did you start? Did you have any money, like any savings? Did you fund it yourself, or like how did you start with that? Just tell us about the start, and then we talk about what's happening now.
We have funded everything ourselves. All of what Earthy is today is just my savings and Brooks's savings and our sweat equity. So we did a smaller production run just to get things started. We wanted to just go to the moon day one. Like I said, it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise to grow a little bit slower at first. We are setting the foundation to scale and grow, especially in 2024. And there's a high sense of urgency around that. But at the same time, this is our first time as founders, first time raising money. I think that black box of fundraising was a huge, steep learning curve. Like, what's a pitch deck? How to tell the story? What are the things that investors are looking for? What are the questions they're asking? And so, we generally got good feedback on that early on, but we hadn't even launched yet. This is a relatively new space. And so a lot of people just said, does the product work? And do people, are they looking for it? Similar question to what you asked. And so that was the original sort of impetus behind the West Coast tour, the big cycle and run stunt, was we need to prove that it works, start connecting with our community and find that elusive product market fit. But yeah, let's talk more about the finances now, because I have a couple more thoughts there.
Yeah. I have a curious question. If you funded it with all your savings and you're just starting out, you don't have crazy sales, like how are you guys paying for your expenses? It's just a
Barely.
private question. If you don't,
No, that's a great question. I think it literally barely. Yeah, I definitely, we had some runway with the savings, but there was a point where I had to make the decision of like, hey, I'm going to sell these investments to double down and bet on myself. And I would say that just being much tighter in terms of finances has almost made me a better person. When I go to the grocery store, I don't buy cookies. I don't buy stuff I don't need. I stay out of the middle of the grocery store altogether. But just being very, very conscious of every single dollar counts, and every dollar that's not money is energy, right? So if you're allocating energy towards something that's not moving you towards your goals and dreams, why are you allocating energy that direction? So it's been difficult, I would say. I have a romantic partner, Alondra. She's been with it. Like, I would say having someone on my side, my family, my business partner, her, just to say, you know what, this is a period of time where things are going to be tight, but this is the path that we chose, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So we've spent, you didn't ask, but we're transparent here. So both Brooks and I have put about 25 to 30 grand into the business. So 50 to 60 grand total. And that sounds like a lot of money, but on the grand scheme of things, like $50,000 to $60,000 to get a business off the ground is pretty standard. We don't have a lease. We still have a lot of runway. We're just getting started. And the goal would be that it pays back in the long run. So, yeah, those are just a few thoughts on how I'm dealing with it. But you definitely, your mindset can get negative when you're opening up your bank account and you're looking at that number and you're like, where is the money coming in? It's all just going out.
I know.
So yeah, we're making it work is the answer.
It's very
I also
interesting.
have a handful of roommates that help pay the bills. So that's great.
Okay. It's very interesting what you just said. Like, every single person I talk to or I work with, the ones who are able to continue and say, no, we're in this together, we're going to continue and do it, even if it's very difficult, because at the beginning, everybody's in the same situation. They always tell me, I have a great partner. I have my family. There's always somebody who's like supporting them. And you just said the same thing, like you're surrounded with people who are with you in this. And when you said that, I'm like, okay, they're going to make it. And I'm pretty sure of it, because that's what's important. That's what keeps an entrepreneur going. So you had some thoughts about finances again. Tell us what's happening now. Like, where are you now? I believe you have some either crowdfunding campaign or like seeking some investors. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, so we're about a third of the way to our goal right now, which feels like the snowball has built a little bit, and now it's just spiraling and growing. So we're raising a $300,000 pre-seed round. It's really a friends, family, angel round, and a big part of that is going to be 124,000 of that is going to be a crowdfund, which is, as we speak, today is November 22nd. I know podcasts get outdated quickly, but my business partner has been running a marathon a day this is day 11, day 12, I should say. So he's been running 26.2 miles for 12 days, and he's not going to stop until we finish this fundraising round. So that kind of illustrates the sense
Is
of
he
urgency that
okay?
we have. I mean, I think so. I'm buying him dinner tonight, so hopefully that takes the edge off. But yeah, it's definitely inspiring. Like, we push each other to be better. And when I see him going out and doing that, and also
Mm,
still working long hours all day, we're in it right now. This
wow, yeah.
$300,000 is not going to change everything for us. It's going to give us the ability to spend a little bit on
Mm,
marketing, to do some bigger production runs. But for the most part, the ball is still in our court to build in a grassroots way. And
mm,
um, so yeah, we're
yeah.
looking to close that out by the end of the year and come into 2024 with a little more fuel.
Amazing, amazing. I wish you the best of luck, Kyle. We're towards the end of this episode, and I usually ask three questions to all the same questions to all the guests. Are you ready?
Let's go.
How would your friends describe what you do for a living?
How would my friends describe what I do for a living? That's a good question. I don't know. I think a lot of people, they see the cool stuff that we do. They see us running, cycling, going to events. They see the energy that we have and that we're putting out in our social content. And then when I see my
Mhm.
friends in person, I think it's contagious. I respect
Yeah,
everybody else's decisions on how they want to spend their time, but I know I have some friends that see what I'm doing and they maybe are inspired to think about, hey, is entrepreneurship something that I would like to do in the future? That's a question I ask quite a bit. There's so many talented people out there. It's not for everyone,
yeah,
but um, I would say maybe some of them think I'm crazy. Maybe some of them don't get it. Um, I was definitely made fun of quite a bit for starting a podcast when that was like, why are you starting a podcast? And I was like, well, duh, because I like having deep conversations.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think for the most part, though, people are super excited. Really, the vast majority of our orders to date have been organic friends, family, people that just know us. So
mm,
like, we appreciate those
mm,
people so much. A lot of them are buying our product without even trying it, just to support us.
yeah,
And yeah, as we grow, that obviously that percentage will diminish. But right now, feeling super supported
yeah.
from the friends.
That's pretty amazing. Question number two: what is the one thing that your product did to someone that you didn't expect?
So we had a videographer on our West Coast tour who had virtually zero running
Mm,
experience. He's actually an actor and a filmmaker, and when he heard about our journey, we kind of put some feelers out in the world, like, hey, we're looking for a videographer who will live out of a van with us for 3 straight weeks. Do you know
wow.
anybody?
Yeah.
And a mutual friend introduced us to Joshua. His name's Joshua, and throughout the tour, because he's drinking Earthy with us, he's vibing off our energy and seeing kind of the day in, day out grind of cycling and
Hmm.
running. And he ran throughout
Yeah.
the tour multiple 6, 8, and even a 10-mile run with almost zero
Wow.
running experience. 10 miles. His feet were literally bleeding because he had such bad blisters, but his stoke level was so high, almost like a euphoric energy. You can attribute most of that to the
Yeah.
product, but also just the sense of community. There's something when you're in the suffer chamber pushing your body and you've got someone right next to you doing the same thing,
Mm,
makes it a little bit easier.
mm,
So the combination of us eating
yeah.
really healthy, just having good energy and connecting with people along the way, and then also drinking the product, I think
Mm,
led to some really remarkable performance. We
yeah.
also had someone run 14 miles with us who had never ran more than 8. So Earthy is definitely giving people
Wow.
that energy to like set their longest runs and really push their bodies to the
Mm,
extreme.
yeah. I really need this because every time I try to run. And then I do like 2 minutes and then I start walking again. Like I'm breathless. And then I
That's
do
okay.
2 minutes again. Like now I'm at 2 minutes, 2 minutes, run, walk, run, walk, which is a
Yep.
major accomplishment for me. Even in high
Me
school, I
too.
used to get zero, zero for running. I remember one time the sports teacher gave me the grade of zero on my sports class because it was about running. So I think I need this.
Sounds like Canada up there
All right.
grading your PE.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, I wasn't in Canada, so that's
Okay.
a whole other story. So question number three, and it's the last one. Is there a book that changed your life that you would recommend to our audience?
Yes, the Bitcoin Standard. And this is totally not on topic, but Bitcoin, and maybe I put it in
Yeah.
the intro, you may have seen that, but Bitcoin has changed how I look at the world quite a bit. We look all around. There's problems everywhere, wars, housing affordability, like these big, deep-rooted problems. And in my experience, where I resonate with is if you trace the root of those problems all the way to the bottom, most of them start with the counterfeiting of money and the money printing in the central banks. So this is totally off topic,
Yeah.
but for me, reading the Bitcoin Standard, it opened my eyes in a way to understand why the fiat money system is broken. And actually, Bitcoin has started to make me think about money differently. Money is not something that you spend and just willy-nilly. Like when your dollars are devaluing
Yeah.
every single year, you're incentivized to spend those dollars, or you have to take on lots of risk to beat inflation every year. So in a world where you can save in Bitcoin, you're much smarter with your money, you're much more thoughtful, almost in a spiritual way too. Like you take ownership
Yeah.
of your finances and of you are your own bank. So
Yeah.
I would highly recommend anybody who's curious
Interesting.
about Bitcoin
Yeah.
to check out the Bitcoin Standard.
Yeah. That's a whole other conversation. Like we can have an hour just to talk about
We
that,
could start a show.
but
Yeah.
we're gonna add it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Carl, tell us where we can find Earthy and where do you ship it? Is it just like in one country or is it available in different places?
We've only shipped in the US right now. We've had a couple people reach out from the UK and Canada saying that they're curious or they want to buy it. We would happily ship outside the
Yeah,
country. It just costs a little bit more on the customer side of things. And I even
yeah,
told one customer, I'm like, hey, you buy this, like we'll eat the cost on the shipping a little bit to make sure that you can get it for a reasonable price. So yeah, we're liveearthy.co. If you DM me on Instagram or our live.earthy Instagram page, we're happy to just send samples to you just to try them. And I'm actually on Instagram as well, adventure_creator. But we're an open book. Either myself or Brooks sees every single message that comes in. And yeah, appreciate you very much for having me. Anyone who's listened this far, I hope that you're excited about building whatever you're building, and hit me up.
yes. This is amazing. We're going to link to all of your social accounts and your website and everything in the description of the podcast. Thank you, Kyle, for being a guest. And to all the listeners, I'll be back next week with a new episode.